Hello and welcome to another episode of the Blue Mountain Makes podcast. The second one I've recorded today because everything I've touched has gone to poo. Welcome. My name is MarylinnS and I'm coming to you as always from the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, where I live with my husband and our many dogs, which I'm sure you'll hear at some point in this podcast. I am recording in the late evening, so sunlight is questionable at this point. Fingers crossed it goes okay. And yeah, so I have one and like 3/4 finished objects to share today, and then a couple of works in progress, and then just wanted to touch on some stuff that I am getting ready to cast on. So grab a drink, settle in, welcome. Today has been one of those days. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I'm wearing my first finished object. This is the Provence top. It's by Ekaterina, Vorobeva, I believe. It is knit on size 6, US 6 needles. It's a bottom-up construction top. It's mainly stockinette with a little bit of lace patterning at the top. I really like this situation. The back is straight lace. So the way that this is made is you knit a very small amount of ribbing, go in your stockinette, and then you split for your sleeves, and then the back from the split up is all the lace pattern, and then the front is kind of this, V-neck shaping into full lace for the shoulders, and then you stockinette stitch the top together. This is meant to have sleeves. I did not make them. I don't necessarily like sleeves on my drop shoulder sweaters. I think they look weird. Let me clarify. I think short sleeves on drop shoulder sweaters look weird. If it's a long sleeve, I don't mind. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the weird floppy, if it's whatever. You know what I mean. Things to say about this pattern. I used Drop Spell. This is the first time I've used Drop Spell. This is a 53% cotton, 33% viscose, 14% linen. It was okay to work with. As you know, Drops is very affordable, so that was nice. I think I used 4.5-ish skeins, maybe 5.5. I don't remember. I did not count. But I started this when I was on the plane to Turks and Caicos, and the first ball that I opened had 3 breaks in it. And, they have the little factory knots. So ordinarily I would have cut the knots, overlapped my yarn so that I can control the tie to make sure that it's not gonna fall apart one day when I'm wearing it. But because I was on the plane and I didn't want to be bothered, and also I can't have scissors on the plane, I did not do that. So yeah, somewhere in the body of this, I think it's on the back, but somewhere in the body of it you can definitely see the little tuft of the knot because it didn't stay to the wrong side like I wanted it to, so that's kind of a bummer, but it's not that big of a deal. I will say, I have worn this shirt at least 4 times since I finished it. So I was almost done with it the last time we spoke, which was about 3 weeks ago. I just keep wearing it. I'm sure some people are tired of seeing it by now, but it's very comfortable. We've had a couple of really hot days. I don't feel overly hot in it. I don't wear anything under it. I mean, I have my bra. But I don't think that, I wore it to the office, and I don't feel like with this lace, you can see too much of my bra strap. It didn't feel indecent, The V's not that deep. Yeah, I really liked it. Gotten a lot of compliments on it. So far, this yarn has worn really well. Some things that I would do different if I made it again. When you get to the lace part, for both the front and the back, you're supposed to increase 1 or 2 stitches per row X number of times as you go up the back and the front. And as you do that, the more you add, the more you're kind of building this stockinette edging, which I don't know if you can see, but the thing about that is she recommends that you just kind of extend the lace pattern. It's a 7-stitch repeat pattern, so it kind of makes it, you have to think about it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because on the front, you're adding 1 set of stitches, and on the back you're adding a different set of stitches because it's, the beginning and the end of the row, which is not a big deal. My dog walks up a set of stairs and sounds like I do. It's not a big deal, but I think I had to think about it a little bit too much, and I'm lazy. So the back, I definitely added the yarn overs and the slip knits like I was supposed to, and then on the front, I did not. So I knew it was going to curl because it's a stockinette edge, so it does hide my sins very well. I think if I made it again, I would just omit those, honestly, because I don't feel like it was enough increases to really make that much of a difference in the shaping of the shoulder, especially since I'm not doing the sleeves. Might make a difference if you're doing the sleeve, I don't know. But I don't feel like it looks bad, or alternatively, I would still do the increases and just not worry about trying to match that pattern, because you can't tell. Like, you really can't tell. Unless you're really, really looking. And if you're that close, you need to back up. So, yeah. Stockinette, or the Kitchener did really good at the seaming. I was pretty proud of that. And I think that's all I have to say about... Oh, lies. So, I have no viewfinder on this. I'm recording on my phone because I've had so many technical difficulties today. I don't even want to talk about it. So, hopefully this looks good. The front only requires 6 rows of ribbing. And I knew when I did it, I wasn't going to like it. But I did it anyways, because I was trying to follow the pattern, you know, as you do. So I did my 6 rows of ribbing, and then I did the rest of the thing, and it just kept flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping. So I got really annoyed. And it also, there's 2 length options given in the pattern. One for, you know, more cropped and one for a regular length. So I did the regular length. It still wasn't as long as I wanted it to be, even after blocking. So I was like, you know what? Just rip that bottom hem out. What sucks is that it's not as easy as it would be to just, if it was a top-down sweater and you ripped out that finished edge, you just keep knitting. It's no big deal. This is bottom up. So basically, I had to cut that whole cast-on edge off, pick up the stitches all the way around, and now you can definitely tell. I should have ripped up to the stockinette and then redone the entire thing, but guess who's lazy? Me. Because it also doesn't come undone like I thought it would. But anyway, so you can see you're off half a stitch all the way around. No matter where you picked up, it's 1/2. So it is what it is. You can't really see it unless you're really looking for it. I'm not that upset about it. And I prefer the length and the fact that it doesn't flip up, so I'm much more comfortable wearing it now. So it was worth it. But boy, was it a pain in the butt. Ooh. Okay, so my second finished object is not exactly a finished object. It's like a 99.5% finished object. Ta-da! This is my Navelli Tee by Caitlin Hunter. I made the size 3. I used size US 4 needles for the ribbing, and then lies. I used 2s for the ribbing, 4s for the rest of the sweater. This, the black and the, I guess, oatmeal-y color, are comfy fingering from KnitPicks. And then the yellow is Noro yarn. It's a combination of cotton, viscose, and something else. I can't remember. This was my birthday gift from my in-laws. So, thoughts and feelings. It's not a finished project because I think I might rip it out. Not the whole thing, just the top. So I don't love... There's a couple things I don't love. This section, fantastic. Love it. Love it. It's beautiful. I really, really, really liked the comfy fingering. It's the first time I'd used it. I have it here. Yep. It is a... So, number one, I bought, like, the amount I thought I would need for... According to the pattern. I have a whole ball left, plus most of the first ball, plus most of the oatmeal ball. I have a weird amount of this that I don't know what I'm going to do with. I don't know. This is so soft. It is 75% Pima cotton and 25% acrylic. Machine washable. I don't usually buy stuff that is acrylic or has any kind of acrylic content in it, mainly because I feel like acrylic is squeaky, and it's a really weird thing to say, but that's the only way I can think to describe it. Like I had some like really old Guerrin, oh gosh, Carron. It's that the acrylic, it's just like cheap acrylic yarn. I don't know. I had a ton of it left over in my stash. So last spring, it was kind of like my mindless project. I made like a scrappy blanket and my husband ended up wanting it and he kept it. And I washed it yesterday. Whoa, cone dog's getting up. You can do it. Oh, honey. Okay. Sorry. Bless your little heart. Anyways, I washed it, and when I got it out of the dryer, just the feel of it rubbing against itself, it was like, it was, awful. I hate it. I feel like it fuzzes. I just don't like it. I don't like it. So, since coming to that realization, I've tried to avoid all acrylic, which is not fair, because this is awesome. Now, granted, it might not wear well. It might not hold up very well. I don't know, but knitting with it was great. Touching it feels awesome. As a comparison, I had this all in a neat pile and then the dog stepped all over it. Go figure. I recently bought some saffron drops. This is 100% cotton and it is very cheap. So this is £1 30 right now on the Wool Warehouse website. So that's about $1.60 USD. This is $4.95, I believe. 99 maybe? I don't know. About $5. They're both 50 grams. This one's 100% cotton. This is 75% cotton. This feels gross. It feels like cotton. You know what I mean? Like, anybody that's touched the Lily brand cotton, I used to buy tons of them because they were so cheap. Like, when I first started knitting and crocheting, it was $1 for, I guess it's 50 grams. I don't really know. But I had a bin full of them. Every time I went to Walmart or Michael's, I just bought a bunch of colors. I've made a ton of stuff from it, but it's not something I would want to wear, you know? It's not that kind of feeling. Which is not to say that, like, this isn't also rough, but it's just not the same. It's hard to explain. And I'm sure it's different for everybody, too. Like, you might pick it up and be like, it's fine, I don't know what's wrong with you. And that's also not to say that I'm not going to use this, because I'm using it in a project I'll share later. But given the option, I would probably pick this, even though this is 1/4 of the price of this. Which is kind of a bummer. But $5 for 50 grams is not terrible either. So, you know, it's kind of, you get what you pay for sometimes. And I think this is one of those cases. So if you've ever seen this and you were wondering, I think it's great. Because they specify comfy fingering weight, I'm assuming they have a comfy worsted or DK weight. I don't know. But I like to remind everybody that KnitPicks and Crochet, it's now crochet.com, used to be We Crochet, they're owned by the same company. They have the same yarns. They're the same prices. But if you buy through We Crochet, there's a lower shipping threshold, free shipping threshold. It used to be really, really cheap. And now I think it's $45. But still, we can all spend $45 on yarn. Just saying. KnitPicks is still $60 to get the free shipping. So in case you need to buy stuff, keep that in mind. That was a long tangent, and I'm sorry. Back to this. So I really love that yarn. I really love how this feels. I think it looks good. I think that the stitch definition's great. The Noro, I was a little disappointed in. I'm going to be honest. It's like a big yarn brand, and it's not cheap at all. I bought 2 skeins of, I had a gift card from my in-laws. I said it was a gift from them. Anyways, I bought 2 skeins of this, and I think one other skein, and it took my whole gift card. It was like $50. So it's not cheap. And it is beautiful, and it's nice to work with, but I do not like that it is not a consistent thickness of yarn. So, you know, I take a lot of pride in the tension and the, you know, how consistent my stitches look, especially in stockinette. So it kind of sucks when you get these like slubs on your yarn that makes it look like, I don't know, makes it look like it's my problem and not the yarn's problem. I know that it's part of like a decorative thing, and it's just embrace it, you know. And if it was my hand spun, I'd be like, no, I meant it to be that way. But it's different because it's expensive and I didn't make it. So this thing. I should have cut it out, but I didn't because I'm dumb. So now I complained about it. Look at that slub. Are you kidding me? Jiminy Christmas. It's huge. And that's even after I've shaved some of it off. I should have just cut it, but I was like, I'm almost done. Again, laziness strikes, makes things worse in the end. So yeah, would I buy Noro again? I don't know. It also had like some really marked, some really strong pooling, which I was not anticipating. It's not a hand-dyed yarn, you know. I mean, and I had 2 skeins, so I could have done helical knitting, but I didn't really think I would need to. And I'm not against it being stripy. It's still very pretty. But it was just, you know, unexpected, I guess. That's what I'm getting at. But anyways, the other thing that I don't necessarily love about this is how wide this opening is. So you do a 3-needle bind off for your shoulders. And I don't even think it was a quarter. Yeah, it's less than a quarter of the stitches on each side. So it's very much an off the shoulder top, and that's fine, but that means I'm going to have to wear something under it, and it's the summer and I don't necessarily want to. It'd be, you know, really super cute over a summer dress, but otherwise, like if I wanted to wear it to work, I can't wear this to work. And I'm vain and I like to show off my hand knits at work. So I'd like to be able to wear it. And the other thing I don't necessarily like is that the 2 things. The shoulder shaping is done in the decorative ribbing for the shoulder. If you've ever made The Weekender by Andrea Mowry, or I think Jessie made the Sheer V sweater, I think it's similar. They both have this decorative ribbing at the top, but you do all of your shaping for your yoke underneath in the stockinette so that your, you know, the front and back of your garment match all the way across the front, if you can see what I'm saying. Whereas this comes to this like weird taper. It doesn't look so bad on, and it really, really doesn't look so bad on when it's kind of off the shoulder. It looks very intentionally like pointed, and maybe that's how it was supposed to be, but it's not how I want to wear it. So yeah, I haven't decided what to do. My first thought before I blocked it, it was also, I added 2 inches to the body of this because I knew it was going to be cropped. And she says in her pattern it's definitely cropped, so, you know, keep that in mind. But I added 2 inches. I still felt like it was a little short on me. And then I still felt it was a little short. After I blocked it, I was pretty aggressive with how I laid it out, and it's gotten much better. And I think I'm okay with the length now, but I had originally thought I would rip all the way back to here for the arm split, add some more stockinette in the round, split it again, knit up to the top, and then redo this without the shoulder shaping. So I'm okay with the length, so I'm not going to do that. But now I'm kind of trying to decide, do I rip out this ribbing and then try to do the short rows in the stockinette the way I think it's going to work in my head, or just stitch up. I could do like a crochet, like a single chain kind of thing up the shoulder to kind of match that bind off edge, just to give myself a little bit more coverage on my shoulders and see how I like it that way. And I think I might do that, just kind of close up that neck gap a little bit and just see how I feel about it, because I can always rip it out, you know. That's the thing. Yeah. Isn't that silly? Like, of all things to fuss about. It's a beautiful piece. It's absolutely stunning. This border is just to die for. But if I'm not comfortable wearing it, what's the point? You know what I mean? So I'll try to insert a little clip of it on, you know, so I can show you kind of like what it looks like off the shoulders. So you can kind of see what I mean. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I think instead of trying to rip back, I'm just going to stitch it up, wear it around the house, see how I feel about it before I tie everything off and weave in my ends and stuff, and then go from there. And if I have to rip it out, I will. The only thing I'm worried about with that is that in my mind, it's going to be very simple. just add your short rows the exact same way just before you start your ribbing. Should be simple, right? But I find that I have a very bad habit of thinking like 2/3 of the way into a project and being like, yeah, it's gonna be great, it'll totally work. And instead of taking the time to think it all the way through and really get into the details of it in my mind, I just go, it'll be fine, I'll figure it out, sounds good. You know, the beginning mechanics work, right? And then I get most of the way through the project and I'm like, this doesn't work at all, and I should never have done this, and it's, you know, a big waste of time. And it's one of those things, like, if you know it's a flaw, you should probably fix it. Will I? I don't know. It's a good thing to keep in mind, but I'm not making any promises. So, yeah, that's my plan for this as of right now. We're going into a 3-day weekend, I think probably tomorrow evening. So today's Thursday. Tomorrow after I get off work, I'll just stitch it up and just kind of wear it around the house tomorrow, see how I feel. Maybe wear it Saturday morning, and then I'll just decide from there, and it'll be great. And I'll definitely be done with it one way or the other this weekend. Yeah, I really like it. It's very pretty. I'm already envisioning it over one of my dresses, and I'm going to be like the belle of the ball. It's going to be great. Oh, the other thing. She definitely calls for, again, you know, bottom up, drop shoulder construction. She calls for short sleeves to be added, and I hate the way that they look. So it's a pretty generous armhole, and the way that it looks, it's this little teeny tiny like blip of a sleeve, and I just think it looks very ridiculous. It kind of like flares out a little bit, and I just don't like it. But I do like that the way that she has it in the pattern, she has the main color for the sleeve and then edged in this black. And I think I might do like a crochet edging on it in black. We'll see. That's very much in the air. So that's that. It's beautiful. This part's not hard. I do have mistakes. I have found a couple, but the beauty of it is I know it and you don't, and that's great. So yeah, that's what makes it your own, right? But I do like it. I like it very much, and I'm very excited to wear it. I think it's very beautiful. So that is that. So that's my 2 finished objects, such as they are. My next thing I'd like to share is, my pink Fizz sweater by Andrea Mowry. Okay, so this, currently she's wrapping up the DRK March to May knit along, and I did nothing for it this year. I don't even think I really had intentions to do anything for it. Like, there's only a couple there's a couple patterns that I want to make of hers, but for the most part, the things that I've wanted to make I've already made of hers. Just great. So I didn't really give it too much thought until I realized that I had a bunch of this yarn in my stash. This is Drops Nord, I believe. I bought it last summer. It was on sale. It was not the color I thought it was going to be, so the sweater that I had intended this for, I was definitely not going to use it. And it's just sitting there. It's like sweater's quantity worth of yarn. And I wanted a green sweater, and I was like, wait a minute, I also have green kid silk mohair from Drops. What? So I put them together, decided I wanted to make the pink Fizz. I already had the pattern for it, and I had this genius plan. It was like May 2nd. I was like, I'm going to cast it on, and I'll be done by the end of May. And it is very possible. I could have done it, but I was very stressed about it. Like, this was the only thing I was working on. It's enough lace charting that you have to like pay attention for the most part. So it wasn't something I could work on in front of the TV and then like, you know, I'd work on say this and feel guilty that I'm not working on my pink Fizz because I have a deadline, but it's like a fictional deadline. You know, I made it up in my mind. I don't have to have it done. It doesn't matter. I've already missed out on the community aspect of the knit along because I jumped in too late and hadn't really made an effort to connect with anybody. And that's what's really important is being there and sharing and getting encouragement from other people. So that whole aspect of it was already out the window. So why am I stressed about trying to get this stupid thing done by May 31st? I can't wear it until the fall. It's way too hot. So I let go and I feel so much better. That having been said, I have made quite a bit of progress. So last time I showed this, I had just cast on and done the ribbing, which is interesting because you do the front and the back separate, and then you put it together in the round and you start working this like, it's a 4-panel lace chart. So lace, 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 and then stockinette in the middle. So I've done the body. This is gonna be really weird to show. I've done the body, I've split for the sleeves, and I am now working on the flat charting, which is really strange. Because, you know, charts in the round are one thing. You just keep going. But now I got to remember to reverse everything on the purl side. That, you know, just, it was a knit, but now it's a purl because it's the wrong side of the fabric. It's just weird. It's the first one I've done. It's not hard, but it is strange. But this is, I think, the front. Don't quote me on that. I'm making the size 2, which is still pretty generously sized. I usually make a 3 in Andrea Mowry's patterns, but, and this is intended to be oversized, but I think I would have been swimming in the 3 a little bit more than I am comfortable with. So I dropped down a size. The lace in it is very pretty. It looks like it's cabled. It's not, which is great because I hate cabling. So it's all knits, purls, yarn overs, slip knits, and knit 2 togethers. It's really not bad. There's a couple sections in it that have 3 stitches involved in a knit, purl, make one, blah, 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 that look really funky on that pattern. It's just really funny, like when you open it up, especially for someone who doesn't knit, or even someone that does knit, it's all these weird symbols. You're like, oh, what is that? What are you doing? It's like magic, you know? But it's not bad. And I have my iPad. I just mark off line by line as I'm going. And you have a break in between each panel of just stockinette, which is really nice. So this is my first, fuzz. This is my first mohair pattern. And I like it, but I think it's going to be a little itchy, if I'm honest. It might be like pokey itchy, you know what I mean? Like stray fibers poking you. We'll see. I'm envisioning leggings and this and crisp autumn days, and it's going to be really nice when it's done. But I'm not in a hurry, and that's okay. So you have to do... I'm now getting into the part that I think is going to be a little complicated. So you do the yoke, after you split for the sleeves, your yoke, you work straight for so many inches, and then you have to start doing yoke shaping. And that, I think, is going to be interesting. I haven't read that far ahead in the pattern to see exactly like what I'm up for or up against. But I think it might affect the lace paneling. If I'm lucky, she'll have all the decreases set in the stockinette. But I kind of want to say when I glance through that was not the case. So we'll see. But I'm definitely going to have to pay attention at that point. But she do be beautiful. And yeah, it is nice. And I think I'll be very proud of it when I'm done. There's like the 2 lace panels side by side. It's got a split hem. It's very pretty. And like I said, it's not hard. Like if you're looking at this and you're feeling like super intimidated that it's so complicated and, you know, all the different directions everything's going, it's just knit 2 together, slip knit. Making some yarn overs in there to make these eyelets. That is it. It's super, super simple. She always is really good about tutorials and clear language and nice charts. So if this is on your to make list, it's doable for sure. Next time I might be like, the yoke is horrible, don't do it. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't think so. I think it's going to be great. So that's that. I'm feeling good that there's no pressure. I've also lost my mohair. Oh, there it goes. Back in the bag. I always sit down and think, yeah, this is going to be a really short episode. It never is. Some are longer than others, but it's never short. Okay. My last work in progress is very, very early on. I just cast this on last night. So it's really not a whole lot to show. Not to mention it is all black, so you're not going to be able to see it anyways. This is a... what is it called? It's a t-shirt, and it's by Jessie Maed Designs, and it features a dropped stitch down the front, and it's a v-neck. Right out of my mind. I bought this pattern last summer, I think. And remember when I said that sometimes I have a really great idea, but I don't think it all the way through, and then I get like 2/3 of the way done and it just totally bites me in the butt and have to start over? This is one of those times. So I've made at least half of this before. Let me show you. My sister, for Christmas 2 years ago, got me this gigantic ball of 100% cotton, very light fingering weight yarn from Hobby Lobby. And it's like this really cool ombre. It starts as a pure white and then, you know, slowly fades out into black. And I thought, wow, wouldn't that be really cute as a bathing suit cover? Because I always wear like black shorts and then a bikini top. So I was like, oh, I'll make the white the hem and it'll fade to black and it'll look really good with my black shorts. Which is great. So, cast it on. Use my light fingering weight and size 4 needles, and I knit all of this. And I got to where I was supposed to split. It's very, very cropped. And since it was intended to be a bathing suit cover, I didn't mind that it was cropped. So I got to this point, and I went to split for the sleeves, and then I looked at it, and I was like, okay, idiot. You're going to have a continuous ombre up the one side, but then you're going to have to snip that yarn and cut to the front, and it's going to be like this jar of gray to really dark gray. And it's not going to match. I was so mad at myself because, like, duh, obviously. Never thought about it. And this was a lot of time put into this. Doesn't look like much. You know, and I also didn't really like the fact that this color really looks like dirty dishwater. So the more I knit with it, I was kind of like, ugh. I mean, it would have faded out and been very, very pretty, I'm sure, but yeah, so I pulled this off the needles because I needed the 4s for something else because I'm always using 4s. And it's just been sitting in my basket next to my chair for like, I don't know, 6 months maybe? Oh my god, it's been there for 6 months. Longer than... I started this like last October or November. Maybe even before that. Whoops. But anyways, it didn't work out. I was really mad at myself. I was like, you know what? This sucks. I had originally seen this top on the Tiny Human Knits podcast last year sometime. And she made hers in black. And she was wearing it over like a bra that's meant to be seen, like I guess a bandeau or something. But it, you know, it was very strappy. And it looked so cute. And I was like, I need that. So, after getting over my anger and also needing to get... to buy enough stuff to make a Wool Warehouse purchase worthwhile, I decided to buy a bunch of this black saffron drops cotton yarn, and now I'm making an all black Jessie Maed tee, because I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, so I cast this on last night. I haven't gotten a whole lot done with it. It's my dad's birthday, so I kind of cast it on and knit a little bit before dinner, and then we just hung out, and I had very little time to work on this. So, I think it's going a little bit faster. I am using the recommended 4s for the ribbing and 5s for the body. Like I said, I don't think you're going to be able to see anything, but, you know, we'll try. We'll give it a go. This is my first all-black garment. And boy, howdy, are they right when they tell you, you can't see it after the sun goes down. I was like, I have a lamp. I'll be fine. Nope. I have a spotlight lamp. I'll be fine. So, like, oh no, I dropped a stitch. It is really hard to see. So thankfully, this is my mindless knit because it's just stockinette for basically however long you want the body. And I have, I think about 6 balls of this, I think. Maybe more, because there's some in my backpack over there too. I got quite a bit of this. I also bought some more saffron, whatever. In this like sea green kind of color, like bluey green color. And I always do this. I love that color, but I don't wear that color. It does not look good on me. It's too pastel-y. But of course I bought enough to make a Joni top by Lune. Nope, she made the Lune shawl. Natasha Hornsby. I'll not show that because it's in the other room and it's a not immediate cast on, but yeah, so if I hate this yarn, I have another garment's worth of it. A garment's worth in a color that I don't know suits me, but we'll see. Still gonna try it. Nothing else, I can give it to a friend. So, yeah, those are all my whips. Those are all my whips and my FOs. Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to share is what I'm planning to cast on next, 'cause I'm pretty excited about it. I'm like knee deep in the like spring summer knits. We gotta go. Of course, today, the last like week, it's been really chilly. Beautiful weather. I don't like it super hot. I'm not a hot person. And in Virginia, it's very hot and humid in the summer, like chokingly humid. It's disgusting. So I don't really go outside much in the summer. And the weather has been so gorgeous. It's like breezy, 70, gets down in the 50s at night. I have the windows open, so I'm like, oh, it's chilly. And I'm like snuggled in my bed. It's so nice. But it's Memorial Day weekend. And in the States, it's kind of our like unofficial start to summer. People open up their pools. It's all barbecues. And, you know, it's a 3-day weekend. You just kind of go all out. It's going to rain and it's going to be cold all weekend. Which suits me fine because I'm staying inside knitting. I don't care. But I do feel bad for people that... A lot of people really look forward to it. Like, you know, it's the start of summer. But I went to the lake last weekend. And my parents have a place at a lake a couple hours away from here. And they have a neighbor who... has a 9-year-old child, and they said, well, he said that the water was warm enough to swim. I was like, yeah, at 9 years old, I swam in like 68-degree Atlantic Ocean water and was fine. This kid's lying, y'all. And they're like, well, he said it, bring your bathing suit. Sure enough, bring my bathing suit. There he is swimming like a fish, and I'm like, oh no, it's cold. It was like ice. The kid's crazy. He turned blue. So not quite time for lake swimming yet, unfortunately, but lots of kayaking and boating was nice. But anyway, off topic. So what am I going to cast on next? Last fall maybe, I bought some linen quill from Pearl Soho. This is like a super hyped yarn. Everybody loves this yarn. It's I don't know if it's their bestseller, but I would assume it is because everybody loves linen quill. If you're unfamiliar, it's by Pearl Soho. It's a fingering weight. It's 50% Highland wool, 35% alpaca, and 15% linen. And I was super excited when I ordered it. And I opened the package and I was just kind of like, that's yarn. Yeah. I was not like wowed by it, you know what I mean? I think my expectations were like way higher than the reality. It's just, it's nice. It's very pretty. But it's not what I expected it to be, you know? Like sometimes you open a package and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. It's so luxurious. It's so this. It's so whatever. I'm just like, yeah, it's yarn. That's nice. I mean, it's not the cheapest yarn. Of course, never buy anything from Pearl Soho if it's not on sale, because they always have a sale. If you don't get at least 20 to 25% off, you overpaid. So, anyways, I bought 2 skeins of this, and I will be making the Salty Air Tee by Samantha Guerrin. I did some test knitting for her last summer, and the payment for that was one of her other self-published patterns, and that's the one I picked, and I have not made it yet, and I'm very excited. And I'm even more excited because I think it's gonna look super excellent with this skirt I just made. I think it's a nice color combo. I'm not a sewist. I despise sewing. I hate sewing so much that in making this skirt, I got so angry I was sweaty. However, that being said, this is my first ever garment that I've made. I mean, it came out really nice. It's the my dog. It's the Estuary skirt by Sew Liberated. It's got pockets. Like, whoa, I added pockets. Whoa, I did an elastic waistband. Like, there's a lot of stuff I didn't think I was capable of that I did. And I did this all by myself, and I'm very proud of it. And yeah, now all that's left are the buttons. And let me tell you, when I say I hate putting buttons on things, I made it through 3, and then my husband had to tell me, you really need a break, because I cussed so much that I'm surprised that the paint didn't peel off the walls. I hate buttons. I hate buttons more than I hate anything. It's not even like they're real buttonholes. It's like a false placket, so I can just basically like stick it wherever and just sew it down. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it when I'm knitting. I hate it when I'm sewing. I just hate buttons. So I've been looking at this mostly finished for 3 days because I cannot bring myself to pick up the stupid buttons. It's gonna be really cute when it's done. But you know what? Bright side, it's been a little too chilly to wear it anyways. So you know, that's what I'm telling myself. Although it'd be really cute with a sweater. Stop thinking that way. Anyways, I think that this is going to be a super cute combo, and that t-shirt's going to look great with this, and I'm excited to wear it. I just want it to be done. That's how I feel about that. And what else was I going to cast on? Oh, hold please. I'm actually very excited about this. I forgot to bring it with me. Whew. So, I bought this cotton. I think it's 100% cotton, but I won't swear to it. This is Mayfair cotton, I believe, from Hobby. Probably 2 years ago. And as you can tell, it has been through numerous projects and been ripped out because I just don't like any of them. Most recently, it was supposed to be a Friday tee by Petite Knit, but it looked atrocious. This does not make for very good stitch definition. I don't know why. It's just not that kind of yarn. I don't know. And I'm not going to overthink it. I originally bought this for a Bellecore tee by Andrea Mowry, and that's what it's going to become again, because I'm going to take this as my main color and my handspun as the contrast colors. I'm so excited. So I need to make another single, obviously, and apply it together, but this will be the color of my main contrast, and then this will be the second contrast. So the way the t-shirt's knit is every so many rows, I think it's like 4 rows of this color is the contrast, and then on the 5th row you throw in your other color. So you use very little of the second contrast color, which is great because then I can use this for another project because it is stunning. I've not knit anything with my handspun, so this is pretty exciting. And it's a very highly textured pattern, so I think it will hide any flaws in my yarn, which there are many, but that's okay because it's handspun, right? So yeah, I'm really excited about that. It's gonna be like it's another bottom up drop shoulder t-shirt. Are we seeing a theme here, guys? I don't know. Is that just like most summer patterns? I don't know. I also have yarn to make 2 more camisole number 4s from My Favorite Things Knitwear. I have one and I love it. It's in silk from Knitting for Olive. So lots of summer plans. Very excited. We'll be casting on soon. Need to make decisions about my Navelli Tee first, but that's where we're at. I'm calling it quits. The sun is rapidly fading. Thank you for joining me. I hope that this was not too scatterbrained. It's a mess today. My dad stopped by. So I work from home on Thursday, so he just kind of breezed through as I'm working. He's like, oh, by the way, when your husband wakes up, just tell him that I was in your garage, which is probably 200 feet away from our house. Like way far down a hill, too. It's really annoying. He said, I was in the garage working on something, and he's like, there's something wrong with the electricity. I was like, what do you mean there's something wrong with the electricity? Is it going to burn down? Like, should I be worried? And he's like, I don't really know. I cut the breakers off, but just, tell him to call me. Okay, fine. So my husband works night shift. He doesn't get up until like 4:30. He gets up. I'm like, Dad says there's something wrong. I don't have details. I don't know. So then it gets into this whole thing, and he is not like technically an electrician, but he's an E-tech, so he's an electrical technician, but he's not an electrician. Whatever. He works on industrial machines, so he knows about very dangerous amounts of electricity. I know nothing about it, so I'm just like, I don't know. Something has happened so that like the lights are dimming in and out. It looks like a brownout basically, but all the time. And we have a freezer full of food down there. Just not my food, but it's my grandma's food. She's in a nursing home. Most of it probably needs to be thrown away anyways. But anyways, now we don't have no electricity down there because he's like, well, I could fix it before I go to work, but there's a chance it would start a fire. And I'm like, well, it's your garage. Ha ha, whatever. He goes, oh, no. The fire would start in the main house because that's where the power comes in at. In the panel right behind the bed where you'll be sleeping. I was like, no. So yeah, he was having me troubleshoot stuff, and I'm like a total idiot when it comes to stuff like that. And he's well, the ohms are this, and the wattage, and I'm like, oh no, that sounds awful. I don't know. So he's like, I feel bad, but like he's really stressed about it, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know anything about it, and I can't really help you other than to like dig a hole to drop a wire in. So I'm really not that stressed about it. And also, I don't go in the garage unless it's to get the lawnmower out. So I'm like, But it has been, I don't know. Then him telling me that my bedroom could catch on fire while I'm sleeping in it, Can't wait to go to bed tonight. Anyways, I hope you're well. If you're in the U.S., happy Memorial Day weekend. I hope you enjoy your time off. Do something nice. enjoy it and do what you want to do this weekend. Do something nice for yourself. I will see you hopefully in 2 weeks, but no promises because I can't keep to a schedule. But bye for now.